Across Nigeria, public servants are transforming government from within through the AIG Public Leaders Programme, established by the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation and delivered by the Blavatnik School of Government, University of Oxford. Public sector leaders are implementing reform projects that make government work better for the people it serves. Meet the leaders driving Africa's public sector transformation and watch the impact of the AIG Public Leaders Programme.
Mrs. Ngozi Jessinta Akinbodewa was able to leverage the learnings from the AIG Public Leaders Programme to develop a SERVICOM charter. And what the charter does is to really clarify the roles, responsibilities, and processes of our organization. SERVICOM is responsible for managing the ministries, departments, and agencies and ensuring that they are delivering on their service promises to Nigerians. What this means is that service delivery is improved across different MDAs at federal and state level, and this is exactly what the foundation aims to achieve.
We felt there was a need to develop something that will help us begin to measure impact, and you cannot actually assess yourself if you don't have data that speaks to it. So that was why I felt there's a need for us to develop something that will help us gather data, as well as help us measure our performance and the overall customer satisfaction in MDAs. One of the basic things that actually made me to think we need a service charter was when we were going through the PLP program. We're talking about integrity, practicing what you preach, you mean what you say and all that. I said, well, if we've been telling MDAs to have charters, I think we should lead by example by having one ourselves. So that was why I just mentioned it to management and everybody bought into it. Since the reform, we've seen a lot of improvements in reporting, data reporting from MDAs, because now we have uniformity in reporting. So the reform has actually helped a lot in making sure all MDAs report, there is uniformity in reporting, and there are data that speaks to that report. So they're not just telling us that you do complaints. We want to know how many complaints came in, how many were resolved, how many is pending. We go there to cross-check those data and ask questions around it. Because somebody can come and tell you we've treated 100 complaints, and then when you get there, you discover that it's only 30. So there is need for validation. And that validation has actually helped us to think of how we can continuously improve on what they are doing. Because if you notice any gap, you can now guide them and say, okay, we notice this gap here, that there is need for you to improve in so and so areas.
Mrs. Jessinta carried us along in developing the service charter for the SERVICOM office during management meetings, and we also had a retreat where we actually teased it apart, and we also made our own input into the document.
With this reform, now we have MDAs reporting in real time what they have done. For example, is the immigration service. Now they can actually tell us how many passports that have been produced. They can report on complaints of how many complaints that have come into an organization, how many have been resolved, how many are pending, and how many are still in the process of being attended to. So this is a very good reform that has been able to measure the performance of MDAs in organizations.
With that information and what they report to us in SERVICOM during the breakfast meeting, they are able to understand the connection and the gaps that exist in that service delivery cycle.
Having gone through any of the foundation's training programs, at the completion, they are inducted into a larger alumni body. Now, with my colleagues at the Alumni Relations Department, we work with these alumni to ensure that all the reform projects that they already began or different capacity or service gap that they identify in their MDAs are able to be closed. And this is what we do. We work with them the whole mile.